You still want to get out of a bad cycle. You need to understand your triggers. You need to understand the temptation. Where does it get to you? A lot of times we want to get out of a bad cycle, but then again, we still retain the circles which we've had for the longest time. So you want to change a habit, but then again, you're still hanging out with the people who still feed and water the habit you're trying to get out of. So you need to understand, when do you mostly get tempted? Is it in the morning? Is it at lunchtime or in the noontime? Or is it in the evening? Or is it at night? Then when you understand when you're mostly tempted, you need to understand, what are your triggers? What are your triggers? What makes you do the thing you're doing that you want to get out of? What makes you use the drugs you're using? And you want to stop using those drugs. What pushes you, or what makes you, what entices you when it comes to using whatever you're using or doing whatever you're doing that you really want to get out of and you don't know how to do it? So sometimes it's important to be honest with yourself. And I say this, I became brutally honest with myself, and that's how I got out of my addiction and the lifestyle which I had before. And I had to call myself out of the nonsense I was doing. I had to call myself out of the things which will trigger me, and I will use those things as excuses to do and to just fuel the habits which I had. So I had to tell myself, number one, you go to drinking because you claim that you're going to celebrate, you're just enjoying, or you're dealing with stress. But then again, the reality is, whether you're happy, you're sad, you're feeling nothing, you always drink. So there is a problem. So I became brutally honest with myself. And I say, sometimes you need to understand your triggers, because sometimes someone might get you so mad, and your default setting, what happens is, once I'm mad and I feel so angry, either I want to burst out, either I want to react, either I want to project, or I want to go and have a sip. I want to go and have a smoke. I want to go and do XYZ. So sometimes you can outsmart your habits, you can outsmart your bad cycles by being aware of what triggers you, what gets you to that point of wanting to do what you're doing, what gets you to the edge, and what makes you feel like you must do this, you must be in that cycle for you to feel a sense of relief. So knowing your triggers is a smart way to get ahead of your bad cycle. What gets you? What gets you? What makes you snap? What makes you angry? What pushes you to the edge? What gets you to pick that thing up or to do whatever it is that you're doing? So if you want to get out of a bad cycle, it's important to understand your why. Have a spirit of willingness, meaning you are ready to do the work. It's good to expect the unexpected. Be brutally honest with yourself and acknowledge your triggers and the things which tempt you, or the people who tempt you, or the people who entice you and who bring you into that space of wanting to do that thing you're trying to get out of, or that cycle you're trying to get out of.